The last thing that I need to prep other than the dressing is the onion. So we've got some thinly sliced red onion to add into this salad. This is not one of the things that I would do too far in advance in the week. This is something you can kind of cut at the last minute. A lot of this can be prepped in advance, but this will get gassy. So I need to put the mic down for this. I wish I had a little, I don't.
Okay, so we're going to, are we slicing, dicing?
We are slicing, and I just want to point out that if you have issues cutting an onion because it kind of gets all over the place, your best friend is going to be the root end. Leave the root end attached until the last minute. Okay, so I'm going to cut it in half.
I love that.
And
we're only using half of this today. I'll get it, bro.
They've peeled it for me, but that's how you can peel the outside. But this just gives me a flat edge to cut from. If I just want thinly sliced onions, I can just slice that straight down. If I wanted to do a dice, I could go around, but the whole time the root end is going to hold it together on my cutting board for me, and then I can cut it off. We do have a video on our website for how to properly cut an onion. If you wanted to check that out, just Google search UCLA Teaching Kitchen. The website. So we're called the UCLA Teaching Kitchen. So if you Google that, we're probably one of the ones that comes up. And now we have this other amazing kitchen off campus or right here that that you are watching us in now. And so the Tipuana Teaching Kitchen, the UCLA Teaching Kitchen, we're gonna just watch out, you guys. Just watch out.
Here we go. And another tip when it comes to cutting onions, if you don't want tears while dicing onions, what should you do? Anyone know? Just yell it out. Hey, what's the what else? What did she say?
Goggles are by far the best.
There it is. Yeah. I like to wear my sunglasses because I'm cool in my kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You had something to roll? Talk to us. How's coming on the pie, baby?
And no, everything is good for cutting onions. If you wear contact lenses, you don't cry. It covers. Yeah.
That's what okay, someone had a question back here. We got a lot. I love all these questions. Yes. Excuse me.
So we've been having like trouble with some of the perishables in our fridge. So I was wondering which food products do you guys recommend like getting canned? For example, like vegetables. Is that something that we can do?
I ain't gonna touch that one. Rochelle, handle
I'll
that.
touch that one.
I ain't gonna touch that one.
I'm a big
Follow
fan.
me to the gift line.
Big fan. Actually, you're going to win this for asking that question. Come on up. This is another $25 gift certificate to Whole Foods. I have found a great way to avoid produce waste is to get frozen organic vegetables, which Whole Foods has by the plenty. They are seriously, like, you can think of a commercial, frozen at the peak of freshness. It's really true. Sometimes they're fresher than what's in the produce. So I like getting frozen vegetables. For canned stuff, I think corn is a good canned product. I mean, I think pinto beans, all those kind of beans, which aren't exactly vegetables, but I'd much rather have a frozen organic green bean than a canned green bean because those are overly salty and mushy. So you're welcome. Oh, can we get one picture with her? With the whole.
I'm just going to add something to that. If you do get canned corn or canned beans, which are great pantry staples for like in a pinch things, rinse them off before you use them. Like drain them in a colander and run it under cold water until the water runs clear. You can reduce up to 40% of the sodium that they use as shelf stability preservatives if you just rinse them before cooking them. Okay.
Great tip. Okay, we are looking pretty good up here. Salads coming along, dessert. Any? How we doing on dessert, Ro?
We're doing great on dessert.
Doing great on dessert. We're going to get ready for our entree, and which is chicken. What was it called?
The chicken.
The entree, yes.
Chicken.
Just chicken.
The entree.
Yeah.
We were thinking about doing turkey, but you're going to have that coming up soon. So we went with chicken, and it's a chicken breast that we serve with sweet potatoes with caramelized onions.
Ooh, I love that. Someone had a question over here. Yes, stand up. Tell us your name.
I'm Ciara. I'm vegan, and I like to cook for my roommates a lot to expose them to vegan food. Do you have any tips and tricks to prepare food ahead of time for a large group of people? Oh, what was that? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, it's louder. I'm vegan and I like to cook for my roommates a lot to expose them to vegan food. Do you have any tips and tricks to prepare ahead to cook for a large group of people?
Well, I can go last because mine will be best. Not that I'm competitive, Mike. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just kidding. All right. Again, I'm the oldest dude in the room, oldest person in the room. And for 30 years of my 62, I was vegetarian, I was vegan, I've done everything there is, right? And I remember someone asking me about, food and that's, and I said, look, good food is good food, just like good music is good music. So why label it, right? So when someone comes to my house, the first thing I ask them is, what would you like to eat? And Chef Julia talked about this a little earlier. The fact is that if you don't eat meat, I got you, right? If you don't eat butter, dairy, I got you, right? So when it comes to cooking for large groups that you want exposed to vegan food, share the things that you love. Make that, share that with them. Also give them the option or let them know that, hey, here's some, if you want to add meat to this, here's what you could do. Or if you want to add seafood to this, here's what you could do. Come get a gift. Yes, another question?
I was wondering if you're gonna be getting herbs, is it better to get fresh herbs or more like pantry basic herbs that are in like bottles? And like which ones would you say are splurge and get the fresh versus which one should I not?
2, 3, fresh.
Everyone's going to say fresh. However, you can, like I grow a lot of my herbs at home. I live, again, like I said, in Northern California, and I grow as much food as I possibly can. So right now, my basil, I'm starting to dry it. My oregano, my thyme, all those things, my bay leaves, right? So once I grow things, I can hang them and dry them myself. Okay? So if you've got space to do a window box garden at your dorm or wherever it is, grow your fresh herbs, use them. When the weather gets bad, go ahead and dry them. Yes. That is, come here. Rochelle, you got to give her one of those gift certificates. Find a gift up there. What was your name again? Marley, grab a gift. This young student or old student, which would you prefer? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, my name's Emily.
Everybody, this is Emily. Give it up for Emily because she just killed it. This is one of the best tips of the day, y'all. And tell us again.
Lettuce too. If you just put green onions in a little cup of water, also the little root of lettuce, it'll grow back and then you'll get like a 2-for-1 deal. And it keeps going. You can do as many times. They'll get more spicy though, so be careful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I did not know that. And I'm the old produce head. Okay, let's find a gift for you. We've got fanny packs. We've got a beautiful pink apron. You got that apron.
Yeah,
It's yours.
thank you.
Emily. Have a great one, okay? Chef, what you got for us? Before we ask you, Chef, are you all enjoying this? Well, let's hear some noise. Make some noise now if you're enjoying this. Okay, good, good. Okay, so Chef, you need another volunteer, right?
The last thing we have to do in Salad Town is make a dressing. Who wants to help me? I saw 2 people. You in the red shirt and you in the red sweatshirt can both help.
Right on. I love this. Okay, so Ro, you doing well? All right. Do you want to take the mic and walk them through it?
Sure. Okay, so quick tip on making your own vinaigrettes at home and basic salad dressings. When you buy like a salsa or a spaghetti sauce or something at the store, you own that jar. That jar is yours. You paid for that jar. Keep that jar. We use these to make salad dressings because I hate washing dishes, right? I could mix it in a bowl and then put it in the jar. Or I could just make it in the jar, right? Plus, once it's in this thing, you keep it in the fridge, you just reshake it up, you can have your dressing to go. So the recipe that's on that we passed out for, I think we passed it out, it's also available for the balsamic vinaigrette is pretty interchangeable with other vinegars. So use the standard ingredients that are listed. And then if you want to make an apple cider vinaigrette, just swap it for the balsamic. You want to make a champagne vinaigrette, just swap it for the balsamic. There's going to be a slight play with your taste, and that's why you taste your food, right? So you sample the dressing to make sure maybe a little more salt, a little more garlic this time, but that's the simpleness of a dressing. So these 2 are going to help by one of you open up that jar for me, please. And then you're going to add in the balsamic let's see, is this stuff measured? I don't know if this is pre-measured actually. And yeah. Yeah, these are, okay. Maple. So we're adding a vinegar, we're adding a sweetener, we're sticking with maple so that it's vegan. We're using Dijon mustard because we are fancy. No, Dijon is an emulsifying agent. The French have loved to use Dijon, but you can use other mustard in a pinch. But we do recommend Dijon or like a whole grain or a deli mustard. I do. No, that's the chicken's fork. Okay. So we'll keep going. Yeah, you have gloves on. Okay, we're gonna add in a little bit of olive oil, but first thing we're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you another trick. Hold on one second. Not all of it. Yeah, because we're gonna eyeball it, but it's probably gonna be all of it. But the next ingredient, the last thing, the only fresh thing that we're adding is fresh garlic. You can use garlic powder. You can also just leave out the garlic, but where would be the fun in that? I'm a garlic monster. I eat too much garlic. We have pre-peeled garlic here. That's fantastic. And we have my third favorite kitchen tool, the microplane. My first is a knife, my second are tongs. This is the third. If you have a microplane, you can do a lot. It doesn't just do lemon and lime zest. You can do Parmesan cheese. You can do grated garlic and ginger. It saves you a ton of time when you're prepping things. So one of you is going to hold that over the jar and the other one is going to grate the ginger directly into, what is this called? Garlic. We're going to grate the garlic directly into the jar and it's going to make a nice fine garlic paste. And then we're going to add all of our ingredients, put the tight lid on and do a little dance and we've got a salad dressing. Okay. So I'm going to pass the mic back over so I can help salad team here
I'll get some.
finish it up.
Okay, so as we were working on our soup, Chef Rochelle reminded me,
Yes.
go ahead, because you're the one.
Okay, so chefs in general like using everything, total utilization of product. So when you cut the corn off of the ear of corn, there's so much flavor left in the cob that I throw it into my soups. So that is what I'm recommending you do. Try and think, is there another purpose that I could get some more flavor out? Or like I said a little while ago, put it in your garden and let it compost. That's a whole other thing. You probably don't have gardens right now. Does anyone have a garden? Okay, you will.
And also when it comes to composting, if you break things up like this, I wouldn't put this whole cob in
No.
and like that, I chop it up. So to break down a lot quicker, I should say. Now, can you all see this on the camera? This is the corn silt, right? When you shuck corn, it's got those silts in it. And as a kid, when I was a kid, my mom would always make us pick that silt out. And what I have learned in my years in this food world is that our bodies require fiber and roughage, right? I leave this in. I take some out, but I leave a lot of it in because that's fiber that goes to the body. And the corn that I grow at home is totally organic. There's no pesticides. So I'm good eating everything. So just know that if you want more roughage in your diet. Also, now don't go crazy when it comes to onion peels. However, I'm not a fanatic by removing all the peels when I'm making soup or sautés because that breaks down. And again, it adds more fiber to my diet. Any information on the recipe you want to, the dessert you want to share, Rochelle?
Okay, so at this point, we're going to add the lemon juice. But before I juice the lemon, I'm going to zest the lemon, just like Chef Julia had the garlic on the microplane. The zest is going to go into the topping in a few minutes. Yes. Can you repeat that?
Let me take it out too. Excuse me. Oh, you're filming me? They're prettier than I am, and she is even more. Question.
Yes, so I was wondering how, because you are talking about keeping a lot of the peels intact, how do you effectively clean your vegetables and your fruits?
How do you effectively?
Clean?
Curtis, you take that. You're
Yes.
the produce
All
guy.
right. There's a lot of things to do. Like again,
But I'm just going to show This is a great thing for juicing lemons. I don't know if you're 21, but if you are, this is a great thing to use limes for tequila. You can just juice it and pour it out and all the seeds they stay in here. And then you can reverse it and do it the other way. And look, you get more. So when you're using your limes for tequila, know that. Another little tip.
Tequila?
I know, I went there. So another.
Y'all don't have tequila on campus, do you? Oh, you don't.
No, only if they're 21, which I
Gotcha,
think
gotcha,
everyone
gotcha.
was carded on the way in, and they are.
I'm gonna answer this question, then I'm gonna go to him and then you, okay? So it's a cleaning vegetables, correct? Okay, again, in my garden at home, and I want to be very careful when I talk to people about buying organic. I usually say, let your budget dictate, right? Hopefully, you know, the market that you're shopping at, you can get organic produce at a reasonable price. And if that's the case, you can just wash it, right? But I like to use warm water, not hot water, because I don't want to start to cook the vegetables. Warm water, and you can scrub them, and they're nice and clean. Mushrooms, again, I only buy organic mushrooms because mushrooms are grown in some weird stuff. You can also use, if you're worried or concerned about what's on the vegetable, a little lemon water, okay? That acid helps to remove things from the outside of the vegetable, because I do want you to eat those skins. Yeah, you can scrub with your fingers, or you can get a vegetable brush, that type of thing.
Chef Julia,
Any
I'd like to
particular
give them both
vegetable
a
you're speaking
$25
of,
gift
anything? I want
certificate
to
to Whole Foods for helping out.
carrots. Oh, I love that. Good question. Carrots, yeah, just scrub them, paper towel, whatever you can to get the dirt off. If they're organic carrots, it's okay. You know, not
We
to,
just need
well,
them
I'm
now.
not saying eat a dirty carrot, but you know, I'm just saying, be cool with it.
To take you to the
My
freezer.
carrots in my garden, a lot of times I'll just pull them out, wipe it off, right? Run the hose over and start crunching on them. They are so good. I mean, I wish I could show you all my garden, how my garden grows. The carrots are just incredible things to grow. He was first, then you're second, and then you're next, right? Lauren. See, I got that. I got that. I got you. Yes, sir. Stand up and tell us your name.
My name is Dylan.
This is Dylan. Check out the pipes. This dude should be a DJ. Go ahead. Oh, he is, right?
Want to get in it?
No,
Not yet, not yet.
I'll get in one.
So my apartment has 8
Okay, let me
guys.
get in
So
between
when
you
we're all
guys, okay.
cooking, there's an aroma that lingers. And I've tried opening the windows and
Thank you.
turning on the fan, and the aroma that doesn't necessarily go away. So I want to know your opinion. Yeah, how to get rid of the funk.
How to get rid of the funk. Okay, I need help. I need help. My man says, Rochelle, Julia, Chef Julia.
Yeah.
My man, Dylan,
Have
right?
a chef
My
hat
man
for him.
Dylan
That's
says
gonna make a
they're not even
really
listening to me.
Fun opportunity photo op.
See what I mean, bro? We get no respect in the kitchen. Chef Julia, okay, my man Dylan here, he wants to know how to get the funk out of his house when his boys are cooking and stinking the joint up. What do they cook that smells so bad?
You tell me. I have no idea. I try to stay away.
I gotta understand what. So what can we do to get the funk out of the house when the boys are cooking like something that don't smell? Did they burn something or what?
I think they have to come here. They don't know how to cook.
They need to come to Julia's learning kitchen, right? So any tips for getting the funk out of the kitchen? Love it. Boil a pot of water with some cinnamon sticks in it. Bake some cookies. That'll work. That'll work. Bake some cookies. Do we have any gifts left to give them to my young DJ friend? We got any more gifts, babe, bro? Your name?
My name is Sabo.
Hi, Sabo. Nice to
Hi.
meet you. Stand up. Let me see that gorgeous smile.
Okay.
And your question is?
My question is like, when you bake sweet potatoes or just potatoes in general and you boil them in water, how do you know if they're like ready? Because they're always hard,
That's a great question. All right. Sabo, right? Did I say it right?
Sab.
Sabo. Okay. Her question was, I love this question, by the way. When you are cooking potatoes on the stovetop, boiling them, right? Or baking them, how do you know when they're done, right? Okay, most of us chefs have what's called asbestos hands. So we touch stuff and it doesn't burn, right? So I just squeeze my potato. I'm kidding, you know that, right? Okay, okay, good. How to tell when the potatoes are done, right? If you're boiling them, if you're boiling them, take a fork and just kind of if it slides in easily, that's done, right? The same thing when they're baked in the oven, right? If you've got, let's say, a potato that weighs, what's an average potato size, y'all? Half pound, quarter pound, 6 to 8 ounces, something like that. 400 degrees. However, before you start to bake it, wash it really good, pierce it with the fork so that the steam comes out, right? If you wrap a potato in foil, you're not baking it, you're steaming it, right? Does that make sense? So all that moisture stays in. Although it's a great way to cook a potato, to cook a potato is wrap it. You can add olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic, all the things you love. The potato is a bomb diggity cooked that way. It gets nice and so 400 degrees for about 30 minutes, that potato should be done. Now, what you want to do is take a towel or something and squeeze it. If there's a little give in the potato, that should let you know it's done, right? And against that same technique, take a knife or a fork and slice in the middle of it. If it goes in easily, tater is done, okay? Did that help? Give it up. All right, go grab a gift. We got a couple left, all right? Anyone else? More questions? We love your questions. My friend Lauren here. We've got one more recipe, I think, to knock out for you. Yes, Lauren, take the mic. Stand up.
Okay,
UCLA Bruin proud.
yeah. Okay, so my question is, as you know, many of us are on college budget. And I'm in big roommate debate, which is which foods should we be getting that are organic and which ones does it not matter as much?
That's a good question. Okay, so the question was, can I repeat it? May I repeat it? The question was, we're on a budget, right? We've got how many folks in the room again? 4 in the room. And we're wanting to know, Rochelle, Julia, we're wanting to know with our budget, which foods should we not, or can we afford not to go organic? And which foods can we just, should we really go organic? I'll let you guys
Um, First of all, I think that any food that you can feed your body when you're hungry is the right food. So don't worry too much about labels. We shouldn't shame ourselves about one or the other. But most importantly, if it's food that you like eat the peel, you eat whole, like an apple, things that come off of trees that kind of soak up a lot of systems from runoff and water, and it might be a good idea. But remembering that getting an organic label can be quite difficult. And there are a lot of farms in California that don't classify as organic, but still use incredible regenerative property processes and clean water and don't have runoff in their systems. So there are a lot of different kinds of ways to certify healthy, good food without it necessarily being called organic. But I guess we try to lean towards things that you're going to eat the peel of.
And I think berries, which have very thin skins, Chef Julia is talking about the skin. Berries are really good if you can get those to be organic. And believe it or not, I know there's not a 99-cent store near campus, but they sell organic fruit and organic apples and organic everything. If you happen to be near one, you can get really good deals on raspberries, blueberries, apples, and things with skin. But grapes and berries are I try. But if not, they sell a produce wash at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. And you spray it on your vegetables, let it sit for a minute, and then rinse it off with water, and anything that was there is usually like 99% gone. So you can do that also. And then one of my kids did a big report on organic versus not organic and found, just like Chef Julia is saying, that a lot of the farms use best practices, but there might be one little catch that they can't pass the qualification. So chances are any produce you get fresh in California is good. But again, any of the frozen organic vegetables from Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or Ralph's or anywhere, those are really solid bets.
So I have a question. Wow. I have a question for everybody. Who here is enjoying thoroughly what's going on? So can we hear? There we go. So it's obvious this is UCLA and we're all extraordinarily studious. If I were in Florida and I said that, it would just be deafening. So let's try it again. Who here is enjoying thoroughly what's going on? Thank you. All right, wonderful. So let me just say, my name is Monroe Gordon. I'm the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs here at UCLA. I have the privilege of working with the team that helped set all this up, and also the privilege to see Chef Rochelle and Curtis and Julia do their thing out here. We do have another wonderful chef here to help. And he goes by a number of different names. I use the name Chancellor when I talk to him, but with students, they always use Gene. And so can we just, I know we're UCLA, I'm sure we're used to being quiet, but okay, just somewhat quietly, let's just say Gene, 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 come on, Gene, Gene, Gene. All right, here we go. We got the Chancellor here to help everybody.
Come on. Sure. And there's even something just for the chancellor today.
All right, Chancellor Gene. Wait a minute.
Get it on there,
Before
right?
we do that, everybody give it up for Mr. Monroe Gordon. All right, Chancellor, come over to the middle here. Come over to the middle here.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Does
Come
he
on.
look snazzy in this or what? I want a picture with the Chancellor. Somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, y'all.
Here, let's hear it for your chancellor and vice chancellor.
Group shot. Group shot. Give me a minute. There we go. Group shot. Y'all gotta get some attitude.
Oh, okay.
It's all about the Bruin life, right? Bruin life. All right, so
Look at
Chancellor.
y'all.
Am I saying right?
You look good.
So Gene, everybody, Gene. I like this, Monroe. All right, so Gene, have you learned anything yet today with us chefs in the house?
I'm still learning. I'm a student. I'm here.
Okay, are you ready to put those skills to work? All right, we're going to do some sauteing, okay? Where's Al? Al, I need help with this heat again. I want to get this burner going, Al. And the dean is going, Gene, my bad. Gene is going to teach you all how to saute the poulet.
No, they didn't
I
find
think
you
that's
one?
chicken.
I think that's chicken.
Okay.
Chicken. So we want that one nice and hot. Now, Gene, can you find olive oil on this table?
Sorry, it's okay. A little soap right here.
There you go. Let's add about a tablespoon of olive oil. And I'm going to share a tip with you all when we share with Gene first. Now, there's a technique. If you don't have a measuring spoon when it comes to liquids, I want you to
I'm
count.
doing a hat adjustment so you can see better.
The
There you
front
go.
would be great. Okay. So what I want you to do now,
Solid.
get ready, Gene. I want to say Chancellor so bad, but Gene says now there's this technique. If we want to add 2 tablespoons of liquid to this pan, but we don't know how to measure it, 1001, 1002, that's roughly 2 tablespoons. All right, you can count to 2, right?
Yes, here we go.
They didn't laugh.
1001, 1002.
My man. You gotta pound it though. There we go. Okay, now we have chicken hiding in this joint somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. We're on a chicken hunt. Okay, so all right, here we go. All right, now should we get your sidekick, Mr. Gordon, to help out, or do you want to keep him there? So, all right, now the oil is nice and hot. So I need one of you wonderful gentlemen to find a fork, which is right there, and add a piece of that chicken to that hot oil.
You see them out here?
And then what we're going to do next now. Good job. Great job. Now, did y'all notice that technique? He knew this. You know, I mean, by osmosis. Notice how he extended his arm. He extended his arm. That way he didn't get splattered up and burn himself, right? Good working, Gene. I want to say Chancellor so bad it's killing me. All right, so we got a little smoke going in the pan. So what we want to do here is lower this temperature just a little bit. Now, here's a tip for regulating temperature. You see what I just did there? Just take it off the heat. If you see it smoking, just lift your pan up, right? Good tip, right?
Good. Excellent. Excellent.
Can we put that in the
Perfect.
newsletter?
Put right in the newsletter. Lift it up.
So
Smoke,
just-
lift it up.
Just lift it right off the heat. Okay, so now, once it's calmed down, we're gonna put it back on. And we want to season this bird with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Just a pinch. Just take a pinch. You do the pepper. I love it. We got salt, pepper in the house, y'all. There we go. and I'll do the flipping. We got the salt part, we got pepper. Oh, yeah. So now, Gene, are you a longtime LA resident? Because I don't know. They probably know everything about you.
Not so long. No, just 15 years.
Just 15 years.
Yeah.
He-
Just got here.
So now I'm visiting from Northern California. If there's one thing I've got to see in town other than UCLA, what would that be?
SoFi,
SoFi, the
SoFi.
new stadium?
absolutely.
But my San Francisco came down and owned that stadium, right?
Oh,
I think they lost last year. All right, but now, did everyone notice this chicken, right? We're sauteing this right here in front of you, 6 to 7 minutes on high heat, and we're constantly turning. We're constantly turning so the chicken stays moist, okay? All right, now, salt, pepper looks good. Rochelle, do we have any beautiful sweet potatoes that we can show
We sure do.
the chancellors? Looking good, right? Now, what we're doing here, this
Hi.
is kind of a new slant on Southern fried chicken. What we're gonna do now is because our chicken is almost done, we're gonna add onions, caramelized onions.
I'm gonna put some in.
Yeah, yes, please. Caramelized onions. We're gonna add our yams or sweet potatoes.
Good.
All right. We're gonna make corn and string beans to go along with this. So Chancellor, Gene, my bad. Chancellor Monroe. All right, can I stand in the middle and ask you all some questions? I have had an incredible day with Chef Julia from the Learning Kitchen, Chef Rochelle, a UCLA graduate, and these incredible students. This program that you all have put together, the students that need. I'm so impressed with this program. Can you give me a little history on it? And as you giving me history, you get those students say that. All right.
Yeah, so, we're all here really, I think, to think about the basic needs that we have at UCLA. UCLA was one of the first institutions around the country to think about how we provide for the basic needs of our students. It started with food insecurity. So our community programs office here on campus began a food closet. Many of you, have you heard about the food closet? Who's heard about the food closet? Okay, not too many. Right in the middle of campus where CPO is located, we have a food closet there. Also, that sparked a number of other food closets in and around the campus. We also have opportunities for students who need funding because of rent, because of unexpected bills, because of things that are just going on in life. And so, the incredible work of Chef Curtis and Rochelle and Julia here really is to highlight all of the great basic needs services that we have at UCLA and to think about how everyone in our community can get involved.
So Monroe, and I've heard some incredible things today from Al, from Chef Joey, from Chef Julia, from this incredible staff. And I get the sense and the feel that it's these beautiful young bodies that's at the heart of this work. Anything you want to share with me?
Absolutely. I mean, the trick is to actually make sure that our students have the skills to really cook healthy food that's reasonable in cost. And so we're really proud of this program. And thank you.
No thanks for me. Chefs, we love doing this, right, Julia? Right, Ro?
Yeah.
One of the things that we talked about earlier, thank you so much, Gene. One of the things that we talked about earlier when we're amongst ourselves is that we need to spread the word about this program. So I'm going to take it amongst myself to share with you all how much I want to talk about this program, whether it's on YouTube or in groups like this. So how do we encourage this group of students to share the word?
Take that. Yeah. So first of all, we need to all recognize that we are all in this community together. There are times when let's clap that up. We are all in community together. There are going to be times when you will need assistance. There'll be times when others will need assistance. At the end of the day, though, we are here to support and to serve each other. So as we think about basic needs across the campus, sometimes it's not about whether or not you need anything. It's a question of how might you serve? How might you help? And even with all this incredible work here today, Go to a store, get some food. I'm sure all of you have friends who at different times will say that I'm hungry. Who has friends like that? I went to UCLA. I was always hungry. And if I had known you back during my time at UCLA, I would have been at your apartments and your dorms and your everything else trying to eat any and everything that I could. So let's really help each other. Let's make sure that as we engage in basic needs at UCLA, this isn't only about a certain set of students that need support. This really is about all of us.
You all know how to share things better than I do. We come over here. Your social media posts. Can you share this on your post?
So Curtis wants me to tell you how to use social media. Who in the audience says that there is no way in heck that I would know as much about social media as the rest of you? But I will tell you, I don't mind doing this because the chancellor's standing over a hot skillet and I'm not doing that. So I think really from a sharing of social media perspective, the first thing I would tell you as Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs is make sure that we are being respectful in the things that we share and the things that we do on social media, right? Sometimes we don't recognize that social media is just an extension of the work that we do and the things that we do even in person. Second thing I would say, once you have people's permission, and as long as you know it's something that's not going to embarrass others, let's definitely pump up what we're doing, right? You know, UCLA, we do a terrible job of patting ourselves on the back. We do such incredible things at UCLA, all of you, every single last one of you do such incredible things. We don't do a great job of patting ourselves on the back. So yes, let's get out there, let's share information respectfully, and let's make sure that the world knows what a great, great environment and community UCLA is.
Thank you so much. Everybody give it up for the two dudes helping us cook today, Gene and Monroe.
Amazing.
All right,
Such a
y'all. So
pleasure.
you know,
Thank you.
when I'm around these
Do you know my
dudes
friend
with big
Howard-
brains,
Howard Gilman?
I forgot about that the part that you, yeah, let's make sure we're sharing things respectfully. What I'm hoping that we can do is let our friends know if my friend's in need, I'm in need, right? So let's help each
No,
other
say it
out.
again.
I shared earlier, I was interviewing, I think Chef Joey, who I really want to thank for getting this together for us. The fact that when I was y'all's age, I couldn't read. I didn't learn to read till I was 26 years old. Now I have a master's in education. Oh, thank you. But what I'm getting at is I was ashamed and embarrassed to ask for help. So let us, this UCLA community, get rid of shame and embarrassment. If someone needs help, whether it's with reading or writing or food, let's make it known that it's okay to ask for help, because we're not going to shame you. We're going to help you get what you need. All right. So we are sliding downhill. However, we want you to know if you have questions, you can reach out to us. The UCLA website is again?
UCLA Teaching Kitchen, best way to find us is to Google it, or you can go through the UCLA Recreation page if you want to find out the schedule of the classes that we still have left. If you want to find my contact info, and then follow us on Instagram at UCLA Teaching Kitchen.
UCLA Teaching Kitchen. My website is curtisaikens.net. You can find me everywhere. Just Google good looking chef. No, I'm kidding. Ro.
Well, I need to jump in on this, and I see a really good baker in the audience who works in the
Hey, really good
chancellor's
baker?
office. I see Gloria out there.
Gloria.
And so she needs to come up and help me finish up this dessert because she's a professional.
Because we are getting there. Woo! All right, I'm gonna shut it down and let you do your thing.
Okay, so come on, I need your help. I need a pro. So we're gonna put that book, Chris, together. Okay, if you want, you can wash your hands. If you don't want, you don't have, okay. So we're gonna put some sugar in with the apples. And you know how Curtis was saying before about, to taste? When we now know there's how many varieties of apples in the world? 30,000 varieties. And what I like to use, I always use a minimum of 2 apples because you get more of a complex flavor that way. So the apples today are a Honeycrisp and a Granny Smith, and they hold up really, really well to baking, and that's what you had in your crisp. So I'm gonna have Gloria mixed together. I already squeezed some lemon juice on there, and I'm gonna pass this out to each row. This is a product unique to UCLA that I've never seen before. This is gonna go in there. It's a, just taste it and pass it on. It's a pumpkin pie spice sugar that you could put in a coffee. Just taste it and pass it down.
I don't know.
We're gonna put some of that. Gloria, we're gonna put a little bit in with, oh, we're gonna put cinnamon in.
Any questions in the
just
audience?
do it
Yeah,
to
while,
taste.
while Chef Ro is doing her thing, any baking questions?
Perfect.
Yes.
Stir it up.
Okay, so I made chicken exactly like you did like last week, but like my pan like completely like
A
burned.
gazillion.
So like how would you recommend preventing that?
You want to hear that question? She did chicken like we did last week. However, it got so hot, your pan just burnt up, right? Remember my little trick. Raise it off the heat when it's feeling that hot, right? Also, do you have any thermometers in the house? Do you have any? Nothing, right? Okay, I think you can find some at like the grocery stores or dollar stores. A great place to find for like $1, right? If there's one close. I've got to be careful when I say things like that because I'm not sure if you can get around town as easily as other people can. So let's find a thermometer, see how hot that oil is, and how hot that pan is, okay? If it's smoking, that means it's too hot.
Curtis.
You ready for a hat? Yes, go, Ro.
Okay, now we're gonna make the crisp topping.
I'm gonna be quiet while you do that.
So we're gonna put the dry ingredients in, which is the flour. Now, what I like about crisp so much, you can use any type of fruit. It can be frozen, it can be canned, it can be fresh. You can get creative. You can add oats to it. You can add nuts to it. So we're just gonna put in some flour. We're gonna do this really quickly and a little more sugar. Never enough sugar. Where's the brown sugar? Right here. Got some brown sugar. Oh, there we go. I'm just gonna have you stir this together. We're gonna put in a bunch of cinnamon. And then for the first time, I'm gonna use this pumpkin. What do you guys think of that? It's really good, right? It'd be good like sprinkled on top of a cappuccino or something. Okay, it's a really cool thing. Okay, yeah. Okay, then the only next thing we need to do to complete it, we have our apples with lemon juice, cinnamon, sugar. We're gonna pop the lemon zest we had earlier into it and have the lovely Miss Gloria stir it together. And then we're gonna mix in some butter. And just this, it says in the recipe, you don't wanna overmix it. If you overmix the streusel topping, you get a ball of dough. So it's the only tricky thing. I promised almost nothing tricky. So this you can do with your hand or with, I would use your hand. And you're just gonna crumble it up into pea size. Okay. And then through the magic of television, which Curtis taught me when I had the pleasure of being on his show many times, this is what it looks like before it's baked. And then we crumble it. Here, you do this with me. We're just gonna sprinkle it on top. I just want you to see the technique. And then we're gonna pop it in the oven. You want it, I like to cover it really well so you don't see the apples or the fruit. You're gonna what? Oh, Curtis is making some tastes of his soup that's been simmering all this time. It should be really yummy. Okay, so now we're gonna pop this in the oven. Okay, everybody see it? We're gonna pop it in the bottom oven here. Oh.
Anyone want to try vegetable soup? Come up and grab a cup.
And again, through the power of magic television, here's your apple crisp.
Give it up for Rochelle, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you. I'll use this later.
I'm trying to serve this so everyone can get a chance to taste. There we go.
How much of a difference does it make if you use glass, metal,
like dark metal or light metal?
Glass is supposed to cook a little bit slower because the metal is, turn off my mic.
No butter and that. This is the first thing you get a chance to eat. Maybe go to the world. How are you? Right back.
I've just been making a quick green bean. So I started out by sauteing them in a hot saute pan. You can use a cast iron or any kind of skillet. But preferably something that you have a lid or can put foil over. So once you get them kind of blistered and sauteed, then you want to cover it. That steam will help finish cooking them all the way through so that you get that really nice tender green bean. And then take the lid back off, finish it with high heat. And I'm drizzling some balsamic vinegar on the top because it ties it in with the rest of my menu. And it's just going to glaze it and give it that extra just little bit of something special.
Great job. All right, so any other questions, comments now are yours. You got the shit.
You have a question?
I love this question. Again, your name is Hugo. Everyone, Hugo asked me this question that I love answering. He says, what made you you want to become a celebrity chef as opposed to just a chef, right? All right, here's the truth. Meryl Streep. No, that's the truth is Meryl Streep. I think I shared with you a little earlier that I didn't learn to read till I was 26. So back in 1980 something, I saw Meryl Streep on television talking about the ill effects of Alar on fresh apples. In other words, she was promoting organic food. So Hugo, I didn't become a celebrity chef to become a celebrity chef. In fact, back then, no one even thought about celebrity chefs. It was just chefs. However, seeing Miss Streep on television and people listen to her because she is Meryl Streep, I said to myself, if I want to make an impact on illiteracy in this country, I've got to become somebody, right? So how do you become somebody in America back in the 80s? You write a book that gives you credibility. You get on television, that makes you a celebrity, a star, right? So people listen to me. True enough, that's what happened. So if you guys check through my YouTube channel, you see some of the old videos back when I had an afro. I weighed 400 pounds, no joke. And I did a show here. I was doing a show in Los Angeles back in the early 90s. It was called ABC's Home Show. And I had worked my tail off to get to a point to get on a national level so that I could talk about reading. At that time, there were nearly 30 million grown-ups in this country that had difficulties reading. So I wanted to impact that part of the society, my community, right? And so we're talking about illiteracy on television. And then at the time, the Bushes were in the White House, the first Bushes were in the White House. So Barbara Bush and I became really good friends. So she invited me to the White House and we did a show on illiteracy. Later on, I'm doing a show here in Los Angeles and Hillary Clinton and I meet. So we become good friends. So she invited me to the White House and did some cooking for her. And then through that friendship, I was on a plane with a kid who was at, he was from Miami, I think Ohio State. We don't like Ohio State out here, right? Anyway, I meet him on the flight, take him to my show. He meets Miss Clinton, winds up working in Bill's White House with the gentleman back there. Fast forward to 2008, Ms. Obama asked me to be her chef with a Move to School program. So I've cooked for, I think, 4 or 5 first ladies at the White House, maybe 8 or 9 times. So this whole thing about becoming a celebrity chef, Julia Child, who was one of my mentors, and you guys are too young, probably know her. Julia Child, look her up. I met her and she just kind of took me under wing. And she said to me, and I quote, "The only celebrity in our kitchen should be the food." So it's my job to highlight the food, not me. So it's interesting now how the business has switched around. And the 3 of us, we were asked to do a competitive show tonight. And each one of us says no, because I don't think food should be competed for. And I've been asked to do those shows. I don't want to be a part of the Hunger Games. I feel like food should be shared, not fought over. Julia, you want to make comments, Ro, about this?
Okay, so this is an apple trivia question. I will tell you, you heard me say earlier that there were 6 apple varieties originally that the Romans developed. And so these 30,000 apples came after that. So which one is the most popular sold variety in the US? But wait. Before, I'm going to tell you that the most popular apple sold in the world is the Red Delicious, and that's not the answer. So what's the #1 most popular apple? Who hasn't won a prize gets to answer first. Nope. Yes. That's it. You won. I did not know. I was very surprised. Yeah, how did? Excellent. Bravo. Bravo. That's amazing. I didn't know that this morning. I wouldn't have gotten it right. But I did grow up in Washington State, and it was so much fun. In our high schools, we had machines, because it's like the Apple State, right? We had machines you could put money in and an apple would come out. Wouldn't that be nice to have, like today? I'm really thinking about doing that as my next business. Wouldn't it be nice just to go get a piece of fruit instead of like chips or something? So, okay, when you see it on campus, like in 3 months, no, I did that. Curtis, I think we're wrapped up. What is there?
Oh, that's so funny. I was asked when I first went to culinary school, what TV show do you want to be on when you become a chef? Like that was sort of the thing when I first went to school. Food Network was becoming very popular, and I just wanted to be like the magic behind the curtain. You know, that's what a lot of cooks, we don't really, it's not about glory, it's about feeding people. Actually, I started working here at UCLA October 2019 when we first opened the UCLA Teaching Kitchen. And then in March 2020, I was told to go home and never come back. So this is the most front-facing job I've ever had. This is definitely the most screen time I've ever had to have, camera time. But we make it work, and we just do what we got to do to make sure that y'all know how to like make some eggs and rice and some simple food, right? You're going to leave this school with an incredible education. We want you to be able to feed yourselves and your families too. That's all. If you have any other questions about the UCLA Teaching Kitchen or our programming or any other general stuff for me, I will still hang around. But I'm going to let Curtis wrap us up here.
I want to tell you all, people ask a lot of times, what's my favorite part of the business, whether it's writing cookbooks, I think I've written 5, or doing television shows and meeting celebrities, and I've met a few. I'm trying to think of the most famous person I've met. Who cares? Right? The most famous person I met, or the most influential person I met, was my mama. And we lost her about 3 years ago. And not a day goes by that I don't think of my mom, because she's the one that really taught me to cook. Chef Julia and I were a little earlier, we're in the back, and I was looking for a fork because my mother always cooked with a fork. And I find myself now when I'm in the kitchen, whether I'm making fried chicken or whatever it is, I got a fork there with me. And Chef said the same thing. It's like this fork and a wooden spoon. We want you to know that you have access to us. CurtisAikens.net, my personal email. If anyone laughs, I'm going to take the gift back. cgaikens@aol.com. You can laugh, you can laugh. I love my AOL address. I'm never going to get rid of it. Okay, I have chef@CurtisAikens.net. I got the Hotmail, the Gmail, all of the crap. I just love AOL because I remember you got mail. I wanted to go back to you got mail. All right, y'all, you don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here. We're going to be with. I do too. You're an old soul, right? You ain't got to go home, but you got to get out. I just love that line. Okay, any more questions, comments, y'all, because we love you? Yes, sir. No, you don't. That's our question today, right? I'm gonna let you handle it, chef.
So if you're interested in getting into like fine dining or really high-end pastry, then it's not a bad idea. You get a really well-rounded education at culinary school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu many, many moons ago, and I'm grateful for the education that I got. But all of the things that I teach you and most of the things I use every day in my cooking, I gain from experience. So if you find yourself a mentor, go to a restaurant where you love the food. Ask the chef if you could work for a week. If you like it after your first week, try it another week, and then just kind of keep showing up and they will let you learn. There's a lot of people in our industry who want to teach and want to give back to the up and comers, but you just got to find the right mentor. And that's a great way to start out. If you want to start out, like I was starting out a little bit later in my 20s. So I wanted to kind of expedite my climb up the ladder. And so culinary school was beneficial for me. It gave me also background in running, managing, ordering, inventory, weights, all of that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily learn that in every restaurant. Are the green beans good? Sure. Thank you, chef. Really simply just saute them with a little bit of heart healthy oil, pinch of salt and pepper. When they start to blister, put a lid on it. Once they're soft, take the lid off, finish with some balsamic vinegar. That's it.
These are so good. I won't try these. However, you know,
We'll put them in these little cups. We'll serve them in the little cups so you guys can try it, sample them. That's very sweet of him. Thank you. I've been doing this a long time. The thing is, I know, not competitive at all. I've been lucky in catering. That's one of the other things too, is when you work at a restaurant, you get really good at like one thing, and then you have to move to a different restaurant to kind of learn new and different skills, depending on the type of restaurant. I was in catering for 18 years. And so from a 6-person dinner party to a 3,500 person movie premiere, I did everything and in between. I fed a few celebrities myself, but it's about the food, not, you know, and catering. Yeah.
I'm gonna put a couple beans in and also some caramelized onions.
Beautiful. Everyone's going to get a little cup with a couple beans and some caramelized onions. I made both of these things. So if you like them, thank me. If you don't, it's Curtis's fault. Thank you. He made me make them. That is a really great question. A lot of people ask that. So if you want to start now, and then you just climb your way up. If you're starting later in life, then a few classes are not going to hurt you. Yeah. We're just gonna, yeah, I have some tongs. You want some tongs?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get them out of my knife kit. Okay.
Nothing where you can, and I can't do it. So if I had chopsticks, I could do it with chopsticks, but I don't have I want you to come taste the green beans and the onions, y'all. Oh, I love you. If I wasn't married, I'd marry you, Julia. You know that, right? Okay, that's yours. Okay.
So someone was asking while we were doing salad, and I kind of want to fill out these questions so everyone can hear them. One of the questions was, what kind of knives do I need when I'm starting out in a kitchen? You do not need the full block set of knives. Usually those are not actually made the best anyway. Get yourself some individual knives for your kitchen, a chef's knife, a serrated knife like for bread or tomatoes like we learned today, and then a small paring knife. These are the knives that you should start out with in your kitchen, okay? And then you can always build from there. And then this is second, and this is nothing anyone has ever done wrong. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. This is not a sharpener. Can you guys see in the camera looking down on my station? This thing that I'm holding up, this is not a sharpener. This is what we call a steel, and it hones your already sharpened blade. It keeps your sharp knife sharp, but it is not a sharpener. So you have to actually get your knife sharpened or sharpen them yourselves, and then you use a steel to keep it sharp while you're cooking with it on a regular basis, okay? So if you just buy one of these, it's gonna just keep your dull knife dull. Like it's not gonna sharpen anything. Okay, so just a fun fact there for everybody. Step on up if you wanna try some balsamic green beans. If not, well, we have tons of pearls of wisdom at the Teaching Kitchen. And then when the new Teaching Kitchen has more programming, we're going to have even more access to chefs and pearls of wisdom to give to you. So
it's evident for me, the fact that we love feeding people. I mean, these beans are so good that I want everyone in the room to taste them. And the caramelized onions are just fabulous. So Now, again, remember, salt and pepper is a personal thing. However, I'm a black man from the South, so I got to be careful with that high blood pressure. So I got to go easy on that sodium. And also remember, you can train your body to require less salt and pepper.
And sugar.
Sugar, right? So it's just like those of you that are athletes and or good students, the way you work on those. Good habits, just like bad habits, are hard to break. And reaching for the salt shaker is a habit that it took me a long time to break, but I did break it. What?
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Okay. So what I suggest, and I'm just using this number because it's a number, not because it's something I would do. If a recipe calls for a, let's say, teaspoon of salt, try it with, let's say, a half teaspoon of salt, right? And then keep doing that until it feels comfortable. Then cut down to a quarter teaspoon of salt, and eventually you will be requiring no salt. And one of the things that happens with salt in the body, we talk about sodium, salt, and you think about it, it's like sandpaper. So when that's running through your arteries and your vessels, that's happening. That salt is causing friction. That's what causes heart attacks. That's what causes strokes and all those things in the body. So again, we want to, thank you, Chef. So you got the mic. I'll do the cooking part. You guys. So though that's why we want to cut down on salt to reduce that friction. Oh, thank you so much. I love you, UCLA students. Any questions, comments?
Just remember the salt, the pinches of salt. You can always add more as you're cooking, because as we learned from Chef, you want to be tasting as you're cooking and then seasoning to taste. You can always add more oil. You can always add more sugar, but like start off small when you're cooking. Okay. Yeah. You guys were great.
Incredible.
So many good questions, you guys. Really good questions.
All right, who's got a class at the top of the hour?
Thank you for hanging out with us today.
Class? What are we studying? Oh, I was like, dang, they didn't have that class when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? No, they did have it, but it was under a different name. Okay, we've got 10 more minutes before they're going to take me somewhere else. So I've got one present left. It's called a fanny pack. Is that what it's called, a fanny pack? We're still calling it? Anybody want to win a fanny pack? Do people wear these? Do people wear these? All right. How do we determine whether she or he or they? I get mixed up sometimes with these. I got to be careful. I was doing a demo with some middle school students, and I had the first person to say to me, this first time it's come to me, that I'm they, and I said, okay. So you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's like, oh man, get with the program. So I try to be cool with that. How do we determine? His hand went up first, like half a second before hers. Oh. UCLA love. What's your name, big dog? Everin. All right, now Everin, you got to earn this thing. You got to earn that fanny pack, my man. What can we have my man do to earn this fanny pack? Come on, UCLA, help me out. 8 push-ups. Oh, do a flip? No. That's a little extreme. 8 push-ups.
Oh, I'll cook a chicken.
All right, come on. Let's just have him taste a green bean. That'll work. Come on, my man. You got a green bean for you, Everett. Everybody, y'all got to go home, because if y'all stay here, I'm gonna stay here. Everett, I got green beans for you, my brother. These are freshly cooked green beans and caramelized onions.
Oh my God.
So what are you studying, my man, here at UCLA?
Electrical engineering.
Brainiac kids. Electrical engineer.
It's not cooking, but I do what I can.
Yeah, but you hooked up these kind of ovens for us, right?
Yeah.
So how's studying coming along? What year are we? Like
Second year.
Second year.
Yeah.
Right, give it up for my man, Everett, everybody. Electrical engineer. You need a personal chef like 5 years from now? I'm available. That's my man right there. Yes, Lauren. The different types of pans. Yes, great question, y'all. There are so many incredible pans out there. When I first started, I used to use Pyrex pans to cook with because it made it easier to see my recipes, right? Glass, you know, and it was so much fun back then because no one was doing it. So I still cook with those. I actually have some that have Teflon coating, and they're fine. My mother used to say, and again, I have all these mama-isms and daddy-ism, but my mama said, a good cook can cook on anything, including a flat rock. And I'm like, Mama, I don't know about the flat rock part. However, if I had to invest in pans and stainless steel is fabulous. Stainless steel is great. Cast iron is even better because, and there's very little care. You know, just make sure you clean it afterwards, keep it seasoned, and it's always there. Ro, do you have a favorite type pan? At my house, go ahead. You like cast iron? I like cast iron. Julia? Oh, there you go.
So I'm a cast iron kid too, but I just want to point out that if you're staying in California, we talked about this, these burners that we're using are induction burners. And for any new construction and most renovated construction in California, you can't have gas anymore. It's just a sustainable environmental new law. So everything is going to either be electric or this induction. You can only use cast iron or stainless steel with induction burners. You can't use regular aluminum pans. So you actually have to get ones that work with induction burners specifically. So if you're moving into a new place that has that, really be sure don't buy a whole set of something that's not going to work with your stovetop. I don't know. Can I see? Oh, so this is like a different kind of nonstick, and it's probably like a blend of ceramic and stoneware. And so it's for nonstick. If you're buying new nonstick, we're trying to lean away from some of the Teflon coating, because if you scratch into it, you can get some chemicals maybe in your food. We just don't know the research. The studies aren't all in yet. So stoneware, ceramic ware, that kind of nonstick, thumbs up. Yeah.
Metal utensils. Yeah. Right, it's gonna scratch. I have not cooked on these, you know. Yeah, brand. And one of the things we were talking about earlier is, like in my kitchen, we're fortunate that we have a lot of utensils. I love my wooden spoon. You know, that goes with everything, okay? Right.
Because they're porous, right? And so it could technically have bacterial growth, but like at home, all I use is my wooden spatulas. So it's, you know, whatever works best for you, and that's what you should go with.
And again, there's so many incredible pans. I love cooking on my ceramic pans. They're great heat conductors, similar to cast iron. They're easy to clean.
Yeah.
Unlike cast iron, which, you know, if it's wet and I forget about it, you know, it'll rust.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't tell you how many friends bring their cast iron pans and say, hey, can you fix this for me, right? And
Yes, you can. Yep, you absolutely can bring a cast iron pan back. My cast iron pan is older than I am. It was an heirloom from my grandmother. So they should outlast all of us. They're brilliant. You just have to kind of treat them okay. I find that once you know how to clean them, they're easier to clean than most things, because you just wipe them out and you deal with them the same thing and you get in the habit of it. And they do conduct heat brilliantly. And I'm lazy. I think I mentioned I don't like doing dishes. It goes from stovetop to oven. So I don't have to like put it in a new thing. It just and then I eat right out of it because I'm lazy. Did I say that? I'm lazy.
One of the things that when it comes to my cast iron, right? I've got a cast iron grill. I just flip it over, right? I Dutch up, right? And I find myself baking beans, frying chicken, everything, and I'll take it outside and I can just cook it on my barbecue grill, right? I mean, there's nothing better than a ribeye steak, I feel, cooked on a cast iron skillet on the barbecue grill.
I once made my own birthday cake in a cast iron Dutch oven over an open fire camping. You can do anything in a cast iron.
Cast iron's the bomb. So if I got
to work, I do my best work camping. Yeah.
You do your best work camping?
Camping.
I ain't gonna touch that. I take an MC Hammer on that. Go home. We're gonna be here all day. We love you. Visit us online and send questions, send comments. Let us know the things that you want help with, and we can answer it for you online, okay? And share the message of this great program with folks in the campus. Thank you. I think there's trash cans on the way out, right? And tonight we're going to be cooking at First Thursday. So come out. Yes, we'll be out there having fun on stage, being crazy. So I might do a little dance. Hugo, you coming? Yeah, I'll try.